So you want to buy a bowling alley. You've got a building in your head already. You can hear it, right? The pins crashing, families packed in on a Friday night, kids crushing pizza, and the register going ding every time somebody rents a lane. Feels simple. People walk in, they bowl, they pay, they leave. That's the view from the outside. But here's what's really going on inside that building. And here's why a handful of owners quietly pull in 2 or 3 million a year, while others can't keep the lights on, even with a packed parking lot every single weekend. Let's start with what you're actually buying, because most folks think they're buying a room with some lanes in it. Nope, not even close. You're buying one of the most machine-heavy entertainment businesses on the planet. Honestly, think of a small hotel. A hotel's got elevators that break, plumbing that leaks, HVAC that dies at the worst possible time, electrical running around the clock. A bowling center has all of that, plus a whole extra layer of specialized gear that literally doesn't exist anywhere else. Walk through the front door and start counting. You've got the lane surfaces, engineered boards built to exact friction specs, taking thousands of 16-pound balls a week. Under those lanes, a precision-leveled subfloor that took a crew weeks to get right. At the end of every lane sits a pin setter, a machine that clears the pins, resets a full 10, and does it thousands of times a day without quitting. Below the deck, hidden away, is the ball return. Motors, tracks, lifts, all carrying balls back after every throw. Then the overhead scoring, the screens, the cameras, the servers. And that's just the bowling part. Now add the kitchen, commercial fryers, conveyor pizza ovens, walk-in coolers, prep stations, vent hoods. Add the bar, draft lines, glycol cooling, liquor displays, glass washers. Add the arcade, card readers, redemption games, prize counters. Add the party rooms, the lounge seating, the sound system, the LED lighting run by a computer, and a parking lot big enough for 200 cars on a Saturday. Because if people can't park, they leave before they spend a dime. Every one of those systems breaks eventually. Every machine wears down. It's not if something goes wrong. It's whether you've got the cash and the trained staff to fix it before it wrecks your Saturday night. That's the first thing to understand before you spend a single dollar. Okay, so what does it actually cost to open one of these? Startup for a US bowling center runs anywhere from around 500 grand on the low end, a tiny boutique spot with 4 to 8 lanes, all the way past 8 million for a full-blown family entertainment center with 30-plus lanes, a restaurant, a bar, and an arcade floor. Here's how that breaks down. Your land or lease is usually your biggest cost before you even touch equipment. In suburban markets, Texas, Ohio, the Carolinas, you're looking at $15 to $30 per square foot per year for the kind of big open space a bowling center needs. A 32-lane place might need 40,000 square feet or more. Do that math. You're paying rent before anybody walks in. Building from scratch? Construction's running roughly 150 to 250 a square foot right now. So 40,000 square feet at $200? That's $8 million in construction alone, before you buy a single piece of bowling gear. Then the equipment. One fully installed lane, surface, pin setter, scoring, ball return, wiring, runs $30,000 to $65,000 a lane today. 16 lanes? That's $500,000 to over $1 million just in lanes. 32 lanes? Double it. Kitchen setup? 75 grand to $250,000. The bar? Another 30 to 80,000. POS software, reservations, cameras, Wi-Fi? 20 to 60,000. Your liquor license alone can run from a few thousand to over 100 grand, and some spots in California or New York have wait lists years long. And before you open, operating reserves, cash to cover payroll, inventory, and early losses. The benchmark's 100 to 300,000 sitting in the bank. Add it all up. A mid-size place, 16 to 20 lanes, full menu, bar, arcade, realistically needs $2.5 to $5 million to open. A big venue in a prime suburb can blow past $8 million before you pour your first beer. One more thing that never shows up on an invoice: location. A bowling center can't move. Once it's built, you're stuck with that street. If a big employer leaves town, if the demographics shift, if they reroute the highway away from your exit, you're stuck. The wrong spot can kill you, even with a gorgeous building and great management. The markets that win share a few things. Lots of families with kids, because birthday parties are gold. A solid base of young adults, 21 to 35. That's your late-night bar crowd. Business parks nearby. Those become your weekday corporate clients. And enough household income that dropping 40 or 50 bucks on a lane feels normal. A well-funded center in a low-income area with no offices around? It'll struggle no matter how good the food is. An average center in a packed affluent suburb outside Dallas or Atlanta, full of kids and corporate offices? It stays busy almost by default. Location isn't just important here. Location is the business. Now here's where most new owners trip up. They see those startup numbers and think, cool, once I'm open, the money just flows. What they forget is what it costs just to exist every month. Before a single customer walks in, your lease or mortgage is due on the 1st, every month. Doesn't care if it snows, doesn't care if a competitor opens down the road. For a mid-size place, that's $15,000 to $40,000 a month. Then payroll, front desk, kitchen, line cooks, prep, a manager, servers, bartenders, mechanics. Old school pinsetters have thousands of moving parts, so you need a trained pinsetter mechanic earning $30,000 to $60,000 a year. Cleaning crews, a general manager, maybe security for late nights. All in, labor usually eats 25 to 35% of revenue. On $2 million in sales, that's $500,000 to $700,000 a year, gone, just in wages. Then utilities. A bowling center devours electricity. Massive HVAC in a building the size of an airplane hangar. Kitchen gear running all day. Dozens of arcade machines. LED lighting, monitors, screens. And if you've got old pinsetters, their motors run the whole time you're open. Monthly electric bills easily hit $8,000 to $15,000 in peak months. Then maintenance. Everything breaks. Pinsetter belts wear out. Ball returns jam. Coolers fail. Ovens die on a Saturday night. Veterans budget 5 to 10% of revenue for repairs. On a $2 million center, that's $100,000 to $200,000 a year set aside for stuff breaking. Then insurance, property, general liability, liquor liability, workers' comp. A full-service center with a bar can face $50,000 to $150,000 a year, plus property taxes, adding tens of thousands more. Add it up. A mid-size center pulling around $2 million a year might have fixed costs like this. Lease or debt, $360,000. Payroll, $600. Utilities, $130. Maintenance, $180. Insurance, $80. Other overhead, $50. That's over $1.3 million in fixed costs, before you've paid for a single pizza or a single bottle of liquor. That's the reality. It's not whether money comes in, it's whether enough comes in fast enough to stay ahead of that number. Hey, if this breakdown's helping you out, now's a great time to hit subscribe and like the video. It really helps us keep making stuff like this. Okay, here's the part that surprises everybody. The lanes? They're almost the least important part. Sure, lane rentals make money, $20 to $55 a lane per hour, more on Friday and Saturday nights. Shoe rentals add $4 to $6 a person, but the lanes cap you. A 20-lane center can only serve so many people at once. The real money is everything else. Food and drinks. This is where the smart operators quietly stack their margins. Gross profit on food runs 65 to 75%. On alcohol, draft beer, cocktails, it's 75 to 85. So for every dollar of booze you sell, you keep up to 85 cents after paying for it. Picture it. 4 adults roll in Friday night, grab a lane for 2 hours. $45 an hour, so $90. 24 for shoes. Then 2 rounds of drinks. 8 beers at $9, $72. A large pizza, $22. Wings, $16. Their tab, over $200. And the lane was less than half of it. A single birthday party, parents buying a package for 12 kids, can easily clear $1,000 in 2 hours. That's not luck. Good centers are designed around this math. Speaking of birthdays, this is one of the most reliable profit machines in the whole business. Packages usually include a reserved lane for 2 hours, food, drinks, shoes, and a dedicated host so the parents don't lift a finger. Price? $25 to $50 per kid. So 12 kids is $300 to $600 in package revenue alone, before the adult meals, the extra drinks, the arcade cash. And here's the beauty. Timing. Birthdays happen Saturday and Sunday afternoons. Historically the hardest slots to fill because walk-ins want evenings, so you're turning dead lanes into predictable, high-yield revenue. Most centers now take a non-refundable deposit too, which protects your cash flow if the family bails. Corporate events do the same thing, but for weekdays. Monday through Thursday afternoons are the enemy. Lanes sit empty. Fixed costs keep running. Payroll keeps ticking. Corporate bookings fix that. Companies rent whole sections, sometimes the entire place, for team building, holiday parties, client nights. And here's the key difference. Corporate customers aren't price sensitive. They're spending the company's budget, not their own. They care about the experience and the convenience, not the price tag. Corporate groups routinely spend $45 to $150 a head. 80 people at $100 each? That's $8 grand on a random Wednesday afternoon. That's how the lights stay on during the week. There's another layer smart operators lean on: dynamic pricing. Same idea airlines and hotels have used forever. A lane on a Tuesday afternoon might be $20 an hour. That same lane Saturday night, $55. And if a holiday weekend's filling up fast, the price climbs on its own. Modern POS handles it automatically. Early adopters report revenue per lane jumping around 12% versus flat pricing. On $2 million a year, that's an extra $240 grand. Often the line between barely profitable and comfortably profitable. Then you've got VIP lanes, private-ish sections with lounge seating, dedicated staff, mood lighting. These command 15 to 30% above standard rates, and corporate groups and date nighters happily pay it. The upgrade barely costs you anything. Now let's talk about a group everybody overlooks: league bowlers. These are folks who commit to bowling the same night every week, for a season that runs 12 to 36 weeks. They pay their dues up front. They show up rain or shine, tired or not. Financially, they're your most reliable customers in the building. And league nights run weekday evenings, Monday through Thursday, starting around 6 or 7. Exactly the hours walk-ins skip. League bowlers fill those lanes, buy drinks and food every week, and build a baseline that covers a big chunk of your monthly overhead. The biggest bowling company in the US, Bowlero, which rebranded to Lucky Strike Entertainment in late 2024, pulls over $1 billion a year. They built their empire buying up struggling old centers, renovating them, upgrading the food and drinks, and keeping the league base as a stable floor while stacking corporate and social events on top. Here's something that quietly changes the whole math: the pin setter. Traditional ones have over 3,000 moving parts: gears, belts, motors, sensors. When they work, great. When they break, and they will, you need a specialist earning 30 to 60 grand a year. 2 of them on staff? That's 60 to 120,000 a year before they fix a single machine. But there's newer tech now: string pin setters. Instead of that free-fall mechanism with thousands of parts, they use high-tension cords that guide the pins back. Fewer parts, fewer breakdowns. Way quieter, too. And regular front desk staff can handle small issues. No specialized mechanic needed. The U.S. Bowling Congress even certified them for sanctioned play, which killed the last excuse not to switch. The savings are real. Centers that switched report maintenance costs dropping 40 to 80% on those lanes, plus $300 to $600 a month in electric savings per 10 lanes. For a big center, that's over $100 grand a year straight to the bottom line. But here's the danger sitting under all of it. Bowling centers carry huge fixed costs, and almost no way to cut them fast when things slow down. Rent doesn't drop when it snows. Payroll doesn't shrink if the weather kept people home. You still owe those hours. The pin setters need maintenance whether the lanes are full or empty. And there are risks nobody can fully prep for. A pin setter dying on a Friday night doesn't just cost you one lane. If a few fail at once, you're sending customers home during your best hours. A kitchen fire shuts down all your food. A liquor violation can cost you your bar permit. Recessions hit bowling in a specific way. Disposable income is the first thing families cut. A $45 lane becomes an easy thing to skip. The 2008 crash closed dozens of independent alleys that had run for decades. And competitions changed for good. A family picking a Saturday activity now has options that didn't exist 10 years ago. Trampoline parks, escape rooms, VR arcades, Topgolf, mini-golf lounges with craft cocktails, axe throwing, indoor go-karts, all of them fighting for that same 2 to 3 hour window bowling used to own. And with big TVs, streaming, and great home setups, people have to choose to leave the house. The bar's a lot higher now. That's exactly why the luxury bowling lounge model took off. Places like Bowlero's upscale spots and the original Lucky Strikes, which Bowlero bought in late 2023 for around $90 million, figured out something. The customers who spend freely on food, drinks, and events, they're not really there for the sport. They're there for the vibe, the comfy seating, the craft beer, the Instagram-worthy lighting, the feeling of being somewhere that looks and feels premium, where bowling just happens to anchor the night. So they redesigned around that. Leather couches instead of plastic benches, chef-driven menus instead of basic concession pizza, programmable LEDs that flipped the whole mood with a button. And suddenly they could charge way more. Customers happily dropping $60 or $80 a head. But staying relevant takes constant reinvestment. Lanes need resurfacing every few years. Seating wears out. Arcade games get stale. Booking apps need updating. That cycle never stops. Every 3 to 7 years, and it costs real money every time. Let's take a realistic mid-size center. 20 lanes, full kitchen, bar, arcade, party rooms, corporate program. Good suburb outside a major city. On a strong year, it might pull 2 to 2.5 million, roughly 35 to 40% from food and drinks, 20 to 25 from private events, the rest from lanes, shoes, and arcade. After all the costs? A well-run center like this might clear 300 to 600,000 in operating profit. But here's the catch. On a bad year, slow economy, a brutal winter that kills 4 or 5 weekends, a new competitor, one major piece of equipment blowing up, that same center might make the same revenue, but watch profit get cut in half, or wiped out entirely. The gap between a great year and a rough one can easily be 2 to 400,000. That's not a rounding error. That's the difference between building equity and burning your reserves. And at the luxury end, the boutique lounge with cocktails, chef food, VIP lanes, the numbers get bigger both ways. Bolero's best spots run margins near 30 to 35%, but building one can top 5 million, and the debt doesn't forgive you for a slow quarter. Real quick before we wrap, if you want to go deeper on business strategy and financial breakdowns, check out the business guide linked in the description and pinned in the top comment. It covers the core frameworks serious operators actually use. Okay, the final lesson. And this one applies to almost every entertainment and hospitality business you'll ever run into. You are not selling the thing you look like you're selling. Nobody goes to a bowling alley just to knock down pins. They go because it's their kid's birthday and they want to give her a day she'll remember. They go because it's the company holiday party. They go because it's Friday and friends want to eat, drink, and do something together instead of sitting home. They go because it's date night. The lanes get them in the door. The food, the drinks, the vibe, the arcade, the party rooms. That's what turns their visit into profit. The best owners get this from day one. They don't run bowling alleys. They run social entertainment destinations, where bowling's just the anchor. The business is the whole experience. From the second they check in to the second they walk out, arcade tickets in hand. That's what separates the centers that thrive from the ones that quietly close after 2 years, wondering why a full parking lot wasn't enough. The lanes attract. The experience pays. And understanding the difference between those two things, that's the entire economics of owning a bowling alley. If you enjoyed this, hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. It means a lot, and it helps us keep making contact like this. Thanks for watching.